Okay guys, we're going to do a shock change today. The 350 runs over the bumps all right, but sometimes it's a little bit choppy at the back. So what I'm thinking of doing is pull out these factory shocks, and I've got a set of classic 500 gas shocks here, and I'm going to see if they'll fit in the slot there, put them in place and see how the bike runs around with a classic 500 rear shock compared to the factory ones. Now the classic 500s, they're gas, so that's one good thing on them. We'll just see how they go, and I've got a sample one here. So it's a pretty simple procedure to pull out the shocks on these bikes, so it's just a matter of 17 mil spanner. You can have open end or ratchet, whatever the case is. Remove the top, one down the bottom, then just rip it straight out. One good thing about these, they're all 17, so you don't have to go chasing odd sizes. So it's a pretty quick job. There's a top one out of the way. We'll undo the bottom one now. 17 again. Now we can pull the bottom bolt and then pull the shock. Okay guys, we've got the shock loose, so we can pull this bottom out, put a driver in the top and prise it, and it comes out quite easy. And rip her out. The main thing is the classic 500. It's got an 8mm bushing at the top and at the bottom, and the 350 Reborn's a 10mm, so you can't really go ahead and do that one unless you do the old task of swapping the bushes. Now the bushes isn't a really hard thing to do, so all you really got to do is get up there with the a very large flat blade screwdriver and wrap it with a bit of old cloth or something, that push it into the top part of the bushing there, and you'll find you'll be able to pop it out with not much effort at all. You can see now it's starting to come out. Almost out. Totally out. So there it is now. It'll be just a matter of swap the bushes over and you're in business. And if you want to put it back, and there she is, back in place. So that's the idea with the bushes, in and out, pretty simple, and after that you can just fit it to the bike. Okay guys, one thing I better point out to you, see this piggyback in the shock absorber there? It does bump up a little bit against the plastic chain guard, but so far I've been riding quite a while and put up quite a few Ks on this mod, and it hasn't really affected it, so I haven't got in there and sort of tried to slim it down a bit or anything like that. All I do find is with this 500 mod, I actually think the bike rides a lot better than what it does in stock form, but that's only my opinion, so it'd be up to you whether or not you want to take a risk and try this. But at this stage I'm pretty satisfied. When I hit larger bumps on the road, I go over them better than the shocks in the stock bike, so I'm pretty happy that way, so keep that in mind. The only drawback I can find on this left shock on the piggyback, it does bump up against the plastic chain guard, and you could either probably remove the guard or not, but at this stage I haven't had any issues with the chain guard rubbing on the chain or anything like that, and I've been on some fairly rough roads and trying it. So at this stage I think this part's, you could say, completed, and I'm pretty happy with this part of the experiment. So if you're after something different on your bike or something that looks period style, while it fit a motorcycle tax disc holder, so I reckon they're pretty good. You can pick them up on eBay or direct from Hitchcock's Motorcycles in the UK. So either way, they cost roughly in Australian dollars 20 to buy, and you'd probably pay 15 or so for freight. So you'd be looking around 35 AU dollars, or it's probably 25 US, something like that. But the thing I like about these is they really look period style on the bike, and they don't cost that much money, and they look the part on it, and I always like sort of fitting them on. We'll swing over to the computer, I'll just show you what it's like listed on Hitchcock's, and then I'll find you one on eBay, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got one on eBay here now. He wants 23 Australian dollars and 17 to post it. When you swing into his site, he's in England. There's a picture of it up there. Yeah, and there's a better look at the disc, and it's the same as really what I've got. So there she is. Something you want to do. And like I said, these are pretty easy to fit. But more importantly, I'll swing over now and we'll see if we can find Hitchcock's. Just went to Google, typed in disc holder, and it's come up now. And Hitchcock's also got them there, and he wants, what, £13. So once again, you'd still have to pay freight on it, so either way you look at it, I think they're roughly about the same unit, so it won't make much difference whether you buy it direct from Hitchcock's or whether you get it on eBay, because I bought it from both areas or vendors, and I've had no drama with either one of them. They both look about the same to me. We're back on Google now. We've just typed in tax disc, and this is what come up, and you click on images after that, and you get all these ones here. You can have a bit of a look at what you might want to print and what not. Some of them you'll be able to print and some of them you won't, so I suppose until you click on them and find out. Now, when it comes to it and you get one that you're satisfied with and you can print it, make sure then when you select the size for your printer, it's 300 by 300. So if you go 300 by 300, you'll find it'll fit exactly into the disc with no drama. So that's the main thing to remember. Get the size right, or you'll be doing it again. Here's where I decide to mount it. Just right up here. This is the one that holds the horns in place, the bracket there. So I think that looks pretty good there when you look at it that way. I put a bit of angle on it, bend it around a bit, like so. And I think when you get back here and look at it, looks pretty good on it, and believe it or not, the colour almost matches the bike too, so that's even better. So I think this looks the part here. Like I said, about 35 bucks all up total, and I think you got something that looks all right on it, and I'm pretty happy with that one, because I actually printed two and I was going to go for the other colour, and I even filled it in here and signed my name on it, put it weight there, 400 pound, put it at 20 horsepower, 350 cc's, just filled in all that crap. So, you know, I think if you're after one of these, not a bad little accessory to have on it, a more novelty item, but looks the part. Yeah guys, so this is the one that came off the Marsh Grey, but I switched it over here to the blue, and the blue one had virtually a peak one on it, so I ripped the peak one off and swung it over to the green because I thought it was more appropriate. Yeah, so here's a better look at it on the green. So if you look at it, that peak itself was originally chrome because it was from the blue bike, but I sprayed it matte black because I think there's a little bit more character on this bike when you look back with the peak on it. Now, the other thing about this peak is, unlike if it was a classic 500, the peak would be just a separate item, but if you look here, this is all one piece. So I don't know where you'll pick up one of these. I suppose the only way I could think of is off a genuine Royal Enfield dealership, because this would be an aftermarket accessory and they're not anywhere. I haven't seen them on eBay or anything, so it would just be a special order, and you'd say you want the visor peak for a Halcyon grey. So that'd be the way, or the Halcyon Model 1s, because it's not on the other ones as an option. To fit this peaked housing to the original headlight after you pull it, it's no drama. Just either side there's Phillips screw. You have to just remove both those. At the bottom here, which is your headlight adjuster, and locking it in, you've got this spring screw in that, which you just pull up from the bottom there, and the spring area sits in this section here. Okay guys, that's about it for this one. We've put the headlight peak on, we've put the upgraded 500 shocks on the back, and we've also put the tax disc on, and overall pretty happy with those 3 mods. Okay, so on the next one, what we're going to come into, we're going to put the touring seat on this bike, which I think is pretty good. That'll be black on this bike, so it'll look the part. We'll have the spring kit on the touring seat. We'll also fit the sump guard, so I think it's fairly essential. If I do a bit of dirt road, I want a sump guard on it. And I'll put on my factory Royal Enfield racks here with the canvas bags. So that'll be on the next clip. So once again, that should cover that side of it. So thanks for tuning in, taking a look. If you thought it was worth your trouble, give it a thumbs up, and catch you on the next clip.